Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch and today we're going to dive back into the expanded format to test out a deck that can take one-shots on tag teams and VMAXs in one attack, which is pretty impressive. You can take those instant knockouts with Raticate with this list. So this is the Raticate in question for 3 colorless energy. Super Fang allows us to put damage counters on our opponent's active Pokemon until it has 10 HP remaining. That's really, really good because thanks to some more recent sets, we have access to triple acceleration energy, which provides that 3 energy attack cost straight away. And when we combine it with copies of Hypnotoxic Laser, we can guarantee that we poison our opponent's active Pokemon. We place damage counters until it has 10 remaining, and then Hypnotoxic Laser puts our opponent over the edge. That extra 10 damage ticks coming from the laser. It's a really, really nice combination, and not only that, but we also have support from some of the best cards in Expanded, particularly Zoroark-GX, which allows us to trade a card in our hand for 2 fresh cards from the deck. Discard 1, draw 2, a really, really good ability, plus the Rider Speeding Attack, which is a pretty solid amount of damage to be dealing 20 times the amount of Pokemon in play for yourself, which is fantastic. We can combine that with Skyfield to increase the amount of damage that we're doing. So even if we can't manage to get the Raticate combo off, we could potentially get some knockouts with Zoroark-GX. The list has got a whole bunch of really interesting cards in it. It is down below in the description if you want to check it out. Whilst you're there, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. But most importantly, like the video. It's the most impactful thing that you can do for a content creator. It's really kind of you to do that. So do it. Let's see some games. So we're getting right into it here. Our opponent has started with a Memories of Dream Mew, which allows it to use attacks from your Pokemon in play, I believe. Expanded is a very foreign land to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm much more of a standard person, as you probably know, but we have plenty to do here. We can attach Floatstone, which gives free retreat to Tapu Lele, which we probably didn't want to start with, to be frank, but to be honest, it's fine. I think we're going to use Ultra Ball here. We're going to get rid of the Pokemon Ranger. That doesn't seem particularly useful right now, and Zoroark-GX as well. We will grab... what do we grab here? Probably a Zorua. I think that seems like the best option. And then we can play Dedenne-GX to draw 6 cards. By the way, Dedenne-GX is on the ladder for you, so you can grab those cards for free. Thank you very much, Pokemon, for giving us those options. I'm just going to pass there. We've got the Rattata, we've got the Zorua. Our hand isn't particularly good, but we have Hypnotoxic Laser, we have Triple Acceleration Energy. If everything goes well, we may be able to get a knockout. No, all that air balloon going away is a bit of a problem. I was about to say we may be able to get a knockout on the tag team Zoroark and Greninja, which is on the bench. That would be fantastic. We'll have to wait and see. Use Cynthia to shuffle the hand and draw 6 cards. It's a bit of a privilege to see all of these expanded cards that used to be staples of the standard format that I haven't had a crack with in quite a while. Getting rid of Boss's Orders there with the Quick Ball for no effect, so we might see a Crobat here. That could potentially be an option for our opponent, and it looks like it will be. That is pretty good. Obviously, Shaman EX is no longer available to people in Expanded, so Crobat V is the next best thing. Obviously, there is still Dedenne-GX as well, which is a very, very strong draw card, and look at that. They're actually going to retreat into their Greninja and Zoroark here to Dark Pulse into my active Tapu Lele. So we might be able to get a bit of a play on here. We've got a Cherish Ball, which is fantastic. That can be used to grab ourselves a copy of Zoroark, I think. Let's just double check here. Do we have the cards required? We do. I'm going to throw the Zoroark down. Let's attach that triple acceleration. We will get rid of the special charge, and then we will grab the Crobat for 6. Actually, I shouldn't have attached to the Zoroark, because watch me get Switch and Raticate here. Raticate, no Switch. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. I've not made a complete error attaching that energy. Let's play the Professor Elm's Research. We can grab ourselves, I'm thinking Ditto, I'm thinking Rattata, I'm thinking Exeggcute. We might even get the Zorua instead of the Rattata, to be honest. Oh, we've got a Zorua in our hand. I should have thought about that. That's okay. We'll throw those Zoruas down and the Ditto, and then we can use Trade and discard the Exeggcute, which is really good because it has an ability that allows us to grab it back into our hand, so we can use that as discard fodder over and over and over to try and get ourselves some good quality discards. Now, our opponent is probably going to switch their Greninja Zoroark out of the active here, because they don't want the poison, obviously. But if they can't afford to do that, we may be able to sneak and knock out with Raticate, which would be fantastic because that's the whole point of this OG 150 challenge, right? Is to get these cards that you probably aren't used to seeing into winning positions. And not only that, our opponent has actually put down another three prize Pokemon in Greninja Zoroark. There is that Raticate for you. Just accidentally hovered over that for a second. They've played down the second Greninja Zoroark, which means that we can potentially get triple knockouts or triple prizes with Raticate twice. We'll wait and see. We'll see if it's possible. Looks like our opponent is having a bit of a struggle setting up their Dark deck here, getting their energy into play. I'm surprised we haven't seen cards like Darkrai EX and Darkrai GX yet, but I'm sure they are in here somewhere, probably just having a little bit of bad luck. And they are just going to Dark Pulse. Okay, so that means we are guaranteed a knockout with our Raticate here. The poison remains on our opponent's active Greninja Zoroark, which is great news for us. We are going to promote the Ditto, I think, because that way we can evolve that into the Raticate, just in case our opponent turns the Ditto off with something like, I don't know, Silent Lab or something like that. Let's attach the triple acceleration energy. We won't trade before we get our Exeggcute out. We'll get that out of the discard pile first, and then we can trade that away for Zoroark, getting ourselves a couple of extra cards, which is great news. We have Tapu Lele and Guzma as well. Let's throw down the Grimer here as well. I'm thinking we probably we could just hold this hand and Super Fang here. That seems like an okay thing to do. Super Fang will put on 260 damage, and then the last 10 damage is taken by that poison, which is fantastic. And another Raticate out of the prizes, which is even better because I didn't even realize that we'd prized it. And this means now, with the Guzma in hand, with the triple acceleration energy, with the Raticate, with all of the trade options that we have, the Ultra Ball will get us another Zoroark. We could potentially win the game next turn. But in saying that, I say this kind of thing all the time, and I get manied out of it. The worst part is we could get End, which is even worse. We'd be shuffled down to 3 cards. So I'm not going to say anything about how good our hand is. I'm just going to let it slide. I'm just going to let our opponent go through the motions here. They want to set up their attackers. They want to take some knockouts. We'll see how we go. One of the good things as well, whilst our opponent is having their turn here, one of the good things about this deck in particular is that it doesn't have any 3 prize Pokemon in it. So you are going to be trading quite favorably with those 3 prize Pokemon, VMAXs and tag teams, that are quite prevalent in the expanded metagame. It does struggle because obviously item lock is super prevalent as well. It can struggle against those sometimes, but to be honest, I think it's pretty gosh darn solid. I really like this as an expanded option. It gives you pretty much all of the cards that you'd want to play with in expanded, but it's not one of the first decks that I'd pick up. If I was starting in expanded, I probably wouldn't go for this one just because it's probably a little bit expensive. Cards like Tapu Lele and Zoroark-GX mean that it's not going to be a easy pickup for you. Our opponent elects not to knock out here. Good thing is, they're using Dark Union, so put 2 in any combination of Dark Pokemon EX, GX into your field of play, and attach some energy to them. That's fair enough, but it's not going to do anything for them if I win the game this turn, which I'm in a really good spot to do. We've got the energy. We don't need to play down any of our supporters now. Let's grab Propagation Exeggcute out of the deck. We can quick ball that away, out of the discard pile, sorry. Grab ourselves another basic. It doesn't really matter what it is. Let's just double check. We've got 2 lasers left. Okay, and Colress is in deck as well, so we could Tapu Lele for that potentially. We will Exeggcute again. We'll Propagation. We're going to try and grab ourselves some good cards. Let's Ultra Ball, get rid of that Exeggcute, and then just the Guzma, because it doesn't really matter at this point. Grab another Zoroark-GX. So we can throw that down here. We probably want to use a trade, I think. Let's trade first. You never know, we might just draw into it. We find Colress, okay. So we're going to attach here. I think the smart play for us is just to Colress and trade later, because we're going to draw a ton of cards. Colress means shuffle your hand into your deck and draw equal to the number of benched Pokemon. So I'll play a whole bunch of stuff down here, and then I'll Colress, and we're going to draw a ton of cards. So hopefully we find Hypnotoxic Laser, and we do, which is brilliant. We would have also had 2 more trades thanks to the Zoroark-GX, but we don't need them. We Hypnotoxic Laser, the active, and then we get the victory screen. A good game. Raticate doing the job there for us. Alrighty, we're into a really, really good start here. We've got Zorua, we've got Rattata, we've got Ditto, we've got Grimer. We've got pretty much everything that we need. I'm just going to play all those basics down, and then I think we're just going to Quick Ball away the Ultra Ball. We might just grab this Exeggcute out and maybe leave the hand. We get Dedenne. That's Dedenne. Dedenne here obviously gives us, oh look at that, double Zoroark as well, and a Dowsing Machine. We are in a fantastic position here, ladies and gentlemen. Not entirely sure what our opponent is playing. Looks like it's going to be a lightning deck of some description, maybe Pikachu and Zekrom, which is obviously incredibly powerful in Expanded thanks to Electro Power, but it looks like it's actually going to be a Vikavolt based deck of some description. That's not to say that Pikarom isn't in this one, but we are in a position now where we could get item locked as early as this turn, which would be pretty brutal if you don't mind me saying. If they find an energy attachment plus Tapu Koko, which they've got, all they need now is 1 energy onto that Vikavolt, and they will be attacking into our Zorua for a knockout and locking our items as well. And it looks like they're playing with what Guzzlord and Naganadel Tag Team GX or whatever it's called. That is a very interesting choice. Paralyzing Bolt's going to take the knockout thanks to that Muscle Band, a very strong card. And we can throw our other Zorua forward. Unfortunately, we won't be able to use our items at the moment because of the effect that has been placed on us. We could be cheeky though. We do have Pokemon Ranger in our deck. We could go for it. I've got the Tapu Lele regardless, so we can throw that down. Let's grab a supporter card here. Now we could grab a draw card, or we could grab, we could even grab Elm or something like that. Teammates maybe. I'm thinking that Pokemon Ranger is just sticking out like a sore thumb to me here. I think we might grab that, because that will turn off the effect of Paralyzing Bolt this turn. So we can play that Ranger down, and now our items are available to us. So, theoretically, we could knock this Vikavolt out this turn with a really good set of cards. Let's Quick Ball away the Exeggcute. We'll grab ourselves a Crobat, so we can draw some more here. We'll draw up to 6, so 5 more cards. We have Hypnotoxic Laser, so we are 1 or 2 cards away, actually. We've got the Dowsing Machine as well to grab the triple acceleration energy. So let's grab this Exeggcute back out. We can trade, discard that Exeggcute because it's free. If we find a Raticate, we could legitimately take a knockout this turn, which I honestly was not expecting to be able to do. We've got 1 more trade here. So I'm not expecting to get it, but if we do, we don't. Okay, but we have the triple. Let's play the Muck down just to stop them being able to use abilities. We can throw down another Rattata here if we want to. We might want to leave some space for Zorua though. Sorry, I just realized my hand's in front of my mouth, my face. Have I stuffed this? Can I get the Raticate at all? We might be able to. Let's Dowsing Machine here. I should have waited to get rid of the to turn the Muck on actually, because we do have a Ultra Ball in the deck, so I can actually get this Yeah, should have waited for that Muck though, because that Exeggcute is stuck there forever now. So we can Ultra Ball. Sorry, not Quick Ball. I'm so used to saying Quick Ball. We can Ultra Ball. I'll get rid of the Skyfield, and I'll get rid of the Zorua as well. We can grab ourselves a Raticate here. Then we can play down another Rattata. We can play down the Raticate. We can retreat into the out of the Vikavolt after the Hypnotoxic Laser here. Look at this. Into the Raticate. We can retreat out of the Zoroark into the Raticate. I've said it a million times. VS Seeker, just because we can't use the... we might not be able to use items next turn, so we'll grab the Ranger back. And then we can remove that Vikavolt from play. I'm relatively happy with the situation that has presented us. That the game has presented us with. We only have a couple of cards here off of the prizes, though, which is unfortunate. Managing to find Elms, which is okay. No item lock yet. They could potentially get it. But, hey, it's not that big of a deal. That's Sudowoodo going down there. Usually, it's supposed to turn off the ability of Zoroark to bench out like I have, but I have Alolan Muk, so it was a good thing that I did play it down in the end. Probably should have played it down at the end of my turn instead of at the start, because then I would have had another Zorua, which I could have used to evolve into the Zoroark that's currently in my hand, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. Come on, Mitch. You can tell that I don't play Expanded very much, because I just don't know the sequencing very well. They're getting rid of our Skyfield here, so we will need to discard a couple of Pokemon, but that's okay. We'll just get rid of the Dedenne and Crobat. Doesn't really matter that much. I'm not too stressed. And they're going to go into their Naganadel and Guzzlord. Do they choose to knock the Raticate out, or do they go for the GX attack? They're going to GX. So that means that they're going to take 2 prizes for free here. But it also means that if we happen to draw into a copy of Triple Acceleration Energy and a copy of Hypnotoxic Laser, we're actually in a really strong spot. So let's grab Tapu Lele, then we can start trading. It's going to need to be an absolute monster couple of trades here. There's Triple Acceleration Energy though, so you never know, it might be possible. Let's grab another Zoroark. Do we find access to Hypnotoxic Laser? No, we don't. Okay, so let's have a think here. We've got Elm and Ranger in the discard pile. We've also got Guzma in hand. So what we could do is we could Guzma up one of the prize Pokemon on our opponent's bench, maybe Oricorio since it has the Float Stone. And in that way, we'd be able to take 1 prize, which will give us a nice prize map for the end, because they're going to want to attack with Naganadel Guzzlord. Let's Guzma, I think that's the right play. I'll Guzma up the Oricorio, which means we get to promote our own Pokemon. I'll put Zoroark into the active, and then we can Riotous Beating to take that knockout. 120 damage times by 2 because of weakness. Let's take a prize, and hopefully they choose to attack into us with their Naganadel Guzzlord here. That would be fantastic. If they do, then we have a chance to win thanks to Raticate. If they don't, then we are in trouble. It looks like they're actually going to Guzma up the Tapu Lele. So this gives us a really, really good chance. If they take 2 prizes on this Tapu Lele, which it looks like they're doing, we have a great chance to win this game if we can find 1 copy of Hypnotoxic Laser and 1 copy of Triple Acceleration Energy. And we've top-decked the energy. Okay. Don't panic, Mitch. Just do the thing. We can play down the Tapu Lele, which doesn't work because of the Alolan Muk. Whoops. Big smiley face. Yeah, that was a terrible error. Why did I do that? Oh my goodness. Okay, well now it becomes incredibly tough. We need to find 1 of 2 Hypnotoxic Laser out of these 4 trades. So let's just trade and see how we go. And we find the Laser anyway. It doesn't matter who needs the Lele. Whoa. That was close. Super Fang ends up taking the win. I didn't deserve that. I made a massive error, but I got rewarded for it. And we take 3 prizes to win the game. Raticate is a pretty good card, but only when you get lucky. So it's nice to be able to finally tick another Pokemon off of the OG 150 challenge. Raticate is done. We still have plenty to do though, so I'm going to focus that down in the next couple of days if I can. Well, not a couple of days, a couple of weeks and months, or however long it takes to finish it. There are still plenty of very viable Pokemon, though. So if you want to see that, then consider subscribing, or maybe you'd like to become a channel member. Thank you to these people who have been generous enough to offer up a small contribution, including the Dadbod, Azazel, and Taco for their very generous contribution. Fernando, Yolo, Stephen, Agent Abel, Austin, Josiah, Andy, Exonix, Robsy, and Caster PD, thank you for being Royal Sableyes, and all the people over there in white. Mega Sableyes, appreciate it. Thank you very much. It costs less than a cup of coffee. So, yeah, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.